This week we're considering the seventh attitude to live by, the seventh beatitude. It's the most challenging component of the character of one who follows Jesus. That'll be said, this is a tough one for me. The RSV translation reads, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God." The native version reads, "Creator's blessing rests on the ones who make peace. It will be said of them, they are children of the Great Spirit." And Peterson's message reads, "You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family." The meaning is perfectly clear, I think. Peacemaking establishes the identity of disciples. Those who make peace reveal their identity as children of God. Now, it's referred to as the Son of God, but that simply means that there's a kinship with the divine. And so I use the word children of God. There's a kinship with the divine. Now, this beatitude springs forth right out of the story of Jesus' birth. What was the message proclaimed? Peace on earth, goodwill among all. Peacemaking was the mission of Jesus. Peacemaking is the mission of those who follow Jesus. And when disciples make peace, our identity is clear. We are children. We are direct descendants of the divine. Let me repeat. When disciples make peace, our identity is clear. We are children, direct descendants of the divine. This is what the native version reveals that we just read. Making peace is when you discover your identity, who you are. Kinship with the divine. The reason I had introduced this beatitude is the most challenging and demanding for me to work through is that I prepared this video in the context of the news of the Israeli-Hamas conflict, and war continues to dominate the news. In the context of retaliation, vengeance, atrocities, cruelty, what in the world does it mean for disciples to be makers of peace? I know the message reads, peacemakers show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. Well, I'm sort of clear about what that means on an interpersonal basis because an event happened when I was in the 6th grade. We knew what it meant to be king of the hill. Our neighborhood bully was bigger and stronger than anyone. We didn't like it because he ruled our roost. The rest of us would try to physically take him on, and he could literally throw us off 2 at a time. He was king of the hill. And after one of those playground battles, a man known to all of us came by and said to the king of the hill by name, "Hey, can I buy you a pop?" And off they walked together, and we were bewildered. We thought being rewarded for being king of the hill. Everybody sort of honored king of the hill. We were the losers. We thought if anybody deserved a bottle of pop, it was those of us who were battered and bruised. But you know, whatever happened over that bottle of pop changed our neighborhood, changed our playground, it changed our school. That bully was a different person. Now, the person who walked by was the janitor of our school, and he became our hero. We didn't call him peacemaker, we called him a miracle worker, if you will. I told the story to my folks, and Dad's reply was simple, and as I think about it, rather profound. He said, I'm not surprised. I asked, why? Because I was surprised. And Dad said, you know, I see him walking to church every Sunday and every Wednesday night. You see, our janitor was a maker of peace, doing whatever he could in every situation, showing people how to cooperate rather than fight. The bully and I ended up in the same high school. And I asked him one day what happened with the janitor that afternoon. And he said something like, well, I learned that in life, it was more important to have many friends than many enemies. You see, to be a maker of peace one does not have to be the president. One does not have to be a teacher. One does not have to be a preacher. All they must be is a follower of Jesus and making peace. Now, interpersonal peacemaking is important and so crucial. Makers of peace prevent domestic violence in the home. Makers of peace create communities of care. Makers of peace insist on justice in the workplace and justice in the playground. Makers of peace are all around, and opportunities of peace making literally abound all around. But then we must return, and I must return to the reality of war, slavery, dehumanization, human atrocities. What's the attitude that enables a disciple to be a peacemaker, experiencing their identity as a child of God? You know, it's my observation that the attitude which is the foundation of peacemaking is the attitude of respect. Yet, even in the context of war, conflict, strife, and atrocities, the seeds of respect can be sown. And often that seed, hardly seen or known at the time, can develop into a relationship of cooperation rather than conflict and war. I've always chosen to seize the opportunity to talk to veterans of World War I. I remember Happy Well is a nickname for such a veteran. I remember talking to the veterans of World War II, my friends in Korea, those in Vietnam, and story after story I've heard in the midst of conflict, how the seed of respect was sown. I've heard these stories. You have too. The song is sung about enemy forces singing Christmas carols together during the truce on Christmas Day. You don't think that had made a difference? Seeds of respect can be sown, even in the worst of human atrocities. You see, as followers of Jesus, we're called to give peace a chance by in every relationship and in every situation, in the home, work, play, in international relations as well as interpersonal relationships. One of the components of a disciple of Jesus is to have the attitude of respect. And in showing respect, we sow the seeds of making peace. One of the characteristics of the character of following Jesus is showing respect and making peace. Here's some questions that you might think about. What are your stories of observing peace being made in place of conflict? Why is it so inviting and easy to show disrespect and disregard towards others? Who are those in 2023 who are sowing the seed of respect in the face of conflict and war? It's a challenging subject. Thank you for being willing to engage it.